Hello, welcome back on SpeedGaming 5 for Link to the Past Randomizer League, Season 3. This is the second game of the doubleheader between Never Two Chickens and Last Locationers. Dracarys versus Goomba. I am Lin, and I am joined by Allison tonight. Hello, Allison.
Oh, hello, I'm glad we could commentate this race that the two of us have no rooting interest in whatsoever.
Nope. No. So
definitely not two teammates of these runners.
So this is Mystery Week. We see that we have a sword already, Randomizer as well. It's gotta be fine. And boots. We have boots.
Yep, and it also excludes entrance from the possible subweights that we could have, so we're looking at either a standard seed or we're looking at Triforce Hunt at this point. And we will know the answer to that very, very quickly as soon as someone starts their seed. But I believe it's 6-1 that we're on normal entrance at this point, or normal non-entrance, just standard.
So those two runners, they just know each other very well. Like,
yeah, Drac and Goomba always seem to find a way to play each other in just about every single format they end up in, every tournament, whatever you end up. So these people are gonna.
The funny part is the races are never close. It's always like one of them just wins, but by a large margin. That's the thing.
I mean, part of it is that the two runners tend to have very, very contrasting styles. Sorry, Nuxman, you're asking how you tell it's Randomizer right off the bat. If you look at the bottom of the screen, it says this like N6.0.32. That says that it was generated by. That means it's generated by Randomizer.
Ooh, that's standard with a mirror.
And Uncle gives you the boots hint. Very useful. Thank you. Well, I don't actually ever think I've ever seen a seed like that, but yeah, that's about as nice of a start as you can get for standard, is to have the mirror and the boots to make it through escape. Unfortunately, it's also possibly Randomizer, so that might... Yep, and it's enemy shuffle.
Yeah. Don't know about boss yet until we get to a boss room.
Yep, but it is, I believe, 30%.
Boomerang as well. Boomerang is super nice.
Especially because in these mystery weights you are guaranteed to always be working with normal item functionality, and so the boomerang is always able to stun.
Also, the fact that they have an Randomizer, that's why they also have a sword. Because if you don't have a sword, nice roller. If you don't have a sword, there's a possibility that you won't be able to clear the escape. So.
I believe the monsters in Randomizer Escape are limited to either things you can kill with the sword or things you can kill with bombs. Speaking of, we're going to have a little interlude here as the runners deal with this guy.
At least you can stun that with a boomerang.
Yeah, at least
which you cannot do with the hook shot. Nice roller.
Also note that we just got an info that it's the small key to this dungeon, so we have at least wild small keys now.
And Drac takes
the first bit of suffering here.
That escape is not very friendly. Like, chomps, rollers everywhere.
No, Randomizer
and even
Escape
a bedrock.
Randomizer Escape is one of the worst things that you can have, as Goomba gets to take a little bit of a break here. So you simultaneously have boots and mirror, which is about the nicest thing you can do for escape, but you temper it by
at least Goomba and Drake won't have to go through the rollers again, because they're just gonna mirror with Zelda.
Yeah. Drake trying to figure out how to handle this roller, having some issues getting around it, and takes another death here.
I don't know how it wasn't looking the first time he tried going through the roller.
Yeah, I didn't actually see. Goomba seemed to have a decent opening to sort of sneak below it.
He didn't sneak below it. He went to the other screen when the roller was off the screen. There's a time frame where the roller is not on the screen, and that's where you can go through the next one.
Also noteworthy, we now have guaranteed wild big keys as well, because you get the text box that pops up that says it's wild
He
big
made
keys.
it with a bonk.
Drac makes it and finds the next room that is almost as pleasant. I mean, actually, it's a lot.
Yeah, this one is fine. It's fine. Oh wait, did the roller go all the way here?
I don't
When
think. I
Drac
think
was-
he wasn't far enough to the right. I think it didn't make it all the way. Meanwhile, Goomba's getting us a look at this level of escape.
Lovely. And mimics as well.
And
And
glove
also a
escape.
glove. So
The seat is weirdly nice while also being weirdly miserable.
So he said it was an entrance, right?
Correct. It is not entrance.
Okay, so Goomba has. He doesn't have a lamp because, like, what he likes to do when he gets the lamp in escape is to go to the mountain directly after Lost Woods.
But doing it in Randomizer can be a little bit dicey
I
sometimes.
don't think he'll do that in Randomizer, but the other opener is doing, especially when he has the boots and a sword. It's the water walk opener.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
if he
probably what
wants
I would
to do
expect
that.
Goomba to play here.
So he got bombs.
So what you'll very possibly see is Goomba route up towards Lumberjack Tree and then head down into Lost Woods. And once he's in Lost Woods, he will, as Drac gets hit again there, once he's in Lost Woods, he will open up the pit and use that to store a water walk and use that to check Ice Rod Cave, store another water walk, and follow that by checking Waterfall Ferry, Lake Hylia Island, and Hobo. Unless he magically gets 500 boots.
He's on half a heart right now. Not ideal. Unfortunately, the priest won't heal you after you save Zelda, if I remember right. You have to exit again.
That is correct. Drac makes it through the roller a second time here. Just needs to make it to Zelda once. Yeah, I'll say Drac, I think it was at about the last point he would have been hit by the roller when he got killed by that roller a second time.
He should be fine now, like the rest of the escape. I think he's kind of friendly, like the dead rock.
Yeah, there's
here.
the dead rock, but everything else I think is pretty okay. There's the Armos here, which is no big deal.
So not checking the Lumberjack Tree, going straight into Skullwoods. Lost Woods, sorry.
And finds the powder here, which puts Magic Bat under some level of suspicion. Obviously, you still need the hammer to be able to get to it. Actually, I kind of wonder if he's going to try to do Old Man, if that's why he's going this way instead of the other way to the Lumberjack.
That's very risky, especially when you haven't saved him quit yet.
Yeah, I think that's super risky. And no, it does. I don't think that's what this looks like anymore.
No, he's just going to cack.
Yep, which is a perfectly fair vanilla safe opening. Meanwhile, Drac begins his with Zelda part of the escape sequence.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the hard situation that just made him just go into Lost Woods, be safe.
Yep, makes sense. There's also a couple of nasty ways. Ooh, as Goomba finds the hammer in well, which means Magic Bet is right there in the options to go for.
Also got half magic. I mean, we got a bit of magic in near Uncle, but like, there's a chance, especially in Randomizer, that you lose that bit of magic due to like anti-fairies or.
Yeah, there's a couple of nasty spots in Randomizer that you'll usually see. Goomba's trying to get spin speed off Blind House steps, but doesn't seem to be able to grab it. Drac gets just a Bari here. I feel like this room was kind of gross, but it doesn't really matter as long as you can get into
the room before the
yeah,
Witch is kind of bad. But other than that, like, the switch is fine. The big key to desert. That's a few big keys already.
We've got big keys to pot and we've got big keys to desert, which meanwhile Drac here just trying to clean up the last bit of escape for himself, as the bottle vendor is a very, very bad salesman.
Definitely.
So this is kind of what some of us will jokingly refer to as the first boss in Randomizer, is this chicken house here, because you can get a lot of nasty spawns in there. But no such in this one, as it's a pretty friendly one, although Goomba still takes a lot of damage coming through.
Should be really careful there. Oh, it takes a death in the chicken hut.
That's pretty bad.
You only have a few checks anyways, so... But
I assume he's going to leave the other checks for
yeah,
now.
he's leaving the other checks for now.
Drac, meanwhile, finally through his escape. And we'll see if he goes for the Waterwalk play or just goes for the more conventional Keck start. I think I would probably expect him to go for the Keck start. I think he's
checking Lemon Drag though. No, he's not even checking Lemon Drag with boots. I don't blame him. Like...
Oh, so yeah, honestly, he's at the point where he's probably going to try to be finding time to cut already, because he's going to feel really, really bad about how that escape went. Although, he probably would guess that Goomba didn't make it through escape on the first try, even though he did. But as that cape now starts putting Aga a little bit into question.
Maybe I don't have... I mean, he was telling me the keys, but yeah, like,
sure
there's a chest that is in logic right now.
Yeah, but that first chest in Aga Tower is now in logic with just that cape and the sword. Well, the cape and anything to kill the boss with. Alright, not too bad in Mini Moldorm Cave here.
It's actually pretty friendly. I don't know how that last Moldorm died, but it died.
It just didn't want to live anymore. So GT small key is only really relevant, I think, if the criteria for opening GT is less than the number of crystals that you need to be Ganon, assuming you're even at crystals for Ganon seed, or crystals to win seed.
The thing is, we even have 2 already, so like I don't see them having an issue with those GT small keys.
I think it's maybe worth keeping in the back of your mind when you're thinking on once you have mitts, because it may suggest an earlier likelihood of something important there. They also have a lot of things open right now, just from the items they grabbed in escape.
So going for a water walk, usually like fake flipper is something you kind of want to, I want to say, avoid in Randomizer because of that screen, but it was a sword that just drowned as soon as it spawned.
And with Waterwalk, it's a lot safer too.
Although
that's going to be really annoying for Goomba, is he gets the heart fill up there, which immediately sets him back to the swimming state, and without a Moon Pearl, he can't recover from it. Drac gonna see if he can avoid having Goomba's fate here.
Should be fine, like he didn't get hit at all, like, and Goomba's is making it back right now. Can't blame him. There's actually a few checks.
It's the shovel, I think, more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, shovel, powder, I didn't get a bubble, unfortunately. And the library and the race game. I think
I was thinking he might try to hold on until he grabbed a bottle, but I understand not wanting to leave this stuff. Good for Drac overall, though, for that to have happened to Goomba.
The thing is that right now their choices are kind of bad. It's like, I mean, Sasha is fine, but if you go there, you don't find anything, you kind of have to go into Eastern. So since he didn't find the Moon Pearl on his South strip, I can see why he's doing the play right now before
I think it makes sense.
Committing to those plays like Eastern.
We did not find a map in Hyrule Castle, right?
I don't remember.
Okay, so you can tell wild status for everything except the compasses just when you're going through escape in standard. So we know big keys and small keys already. We don't know maps or not. But if they found a map in Hyrule Castle, then if they didn't find a map in Hyrule Castle, that also means that maps are wild. Which I think is probably what we have, and chat seems to agree with me.
So yeah.
Oh, the escape map was in the back of Escape? Wouldn't that suggest that the maps aren't shuffled? Right.
I mean, if they do a map, if the maps are not shuffled, they could do a map check, and we're gonna see. Yeah. That's the thing.
I assume we probably would have actually seen a map check if they were shuffled, or if they weren't shuffled.
Probably, because like they would have noticed they got a map of Escape, and then they would know that it's not shuffled. Okay, so I guess we're going to Sahasrara.
Yep, sure looks that way. Meanwhile, Drac, I think, is going to be heading to the dam from here. Yeah.
Goomba just checking that because he couldn't, not risking it with a splash deletion to get to Hobo. I get that, that's kind of slow and not in logic, so you don't really want to go now. You can basically go whenever.
Yep, so Goomba head right now basically by this South Shore area.
That route to Sahasrara is kind of deadly. I don't know if you saw what was there, but like if you get hit here, you just die.
Yep, and it looks like Skullwoods is going to be our Green Pendant. Yeah, those are a lot of things that are going to one-shot you.
Oh.
Drac, meanwhile, heading to Agina instead of this, so this is going to be a check that we haven't seen yet. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty suspicious of that first chest in Agatara right now.
Same, but what is it gonna be? That's the thing. Like you have three
basically would have to be
three checks left in Eastern. You can still find some Agatara keys or the lamp or both.
No, I don't disagree with Goomba coming here. That's just worth at least considering that.
Xeni is not even that bad. The worst part would be the back of in the big key chest.
Goomba showing off a couple of fun little quick swap strats here. Didn't actually switch to the cape here to do it, make it through the cannonball, but that hammer dash through the first room of Eastern saves a little bit of time.
Yeah. That puts the mountain in logic.
Which combined with the mirror and hammer maybe suggests a different location for the Moon Pearl.
So I don't think we got an extra hard piece from like the South CAC checks. So if Drac decides,
gonna have the same problem that Goomba did.
If Drax goes for the water walk, he's also gonna jump into the water.
Yeah, we'll see if he does or not. I feel like that's a little bit more of a newer routing strategy to sort of combine this with the water walk. Specifically around that, I think once people played a little bit more casual boots, that became a little bit more in vogue. This Drac is looking at his own mortality here, and wisely decides not to risk it, especially with the half magic.
Oh, Mitz as well. Hello, Desert Palace Checkerboard Cave. We also have all the keys to Desert. I think it's kind of wise to just go to Desert first, since you can like clear the front entirely at this point.
Yeah, I would say usually I am a little bit hesitant about doing it without a fire source, but being able to get all 5 checks in the front makes it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more inviting. Yeah, and Drax not even going to bother with the water walk here.
I mean, I get that. Like, he spent a lot of time in Escape, so I see words coming.
Yep. And Drac now probably heading to Sahasrara. Yep.
Oh, Goomba took a death. Probably not gonna go back and go activate the flute.
Yeah, that's one you kind of try once, and if you die, you say, "Nope, I'm done here."
Especially when you have stuff to do, like a lot of stuff. Like you have Desert Ledge, 5 checks in Desert, checkerboard. I mean, Agina for him as well.
Did Goomba just dig up an Igor?
He did.
In the bushes. Surprise enemies from the bushes, probably the least fun part of Randomizer in my experience.
Oh,
that's a very, very convenient mushroom.
I guess we're activating the flute and checking that mushroom. Also, you don't really... Even if you have the fire source, would you still go to the back of desert now?
It depends if I found anything in the front, I think.
No, it's not even about that. It's about the boss shuffle.
I mean, it's about the boss shuffle, yeah. But, like, I mean, getting that information is valuable. But you are right that the back of desert is kind of long as a way to just go through, and we'll see if Drac does the quick swap to the cape here. Boo, none of these runners want to appeal to my senses.
I don't know how bad Drac feels right now, if he is gonna leave after the flute, because he sees and... No, he keeps going. Okay. I mean, there's a world when you feel behind.
Yep, I would not have been stunned if Drac had left after the flute.
Like, you lost a lot of time, you wasted a lot of time in escape, and then you see a lot of stuff that just open to you just by having the flute.
Yeah, you have the entirety of Death Mountain open there. So
Yeah,
we gotta make
I see. I understand, totally understand. Like, yes, you have the mountain open, but like, you can get all 5 items in desert.
Yep. No. I agree with Goomba's play here, Tamir. I think it's absolutely the right play when you consider that the bits are also there. Probably won't try to Super Bunny this right away. We'll see. Oh, he's
try it once.
Okay.
Didn't get it. Second try.
I believe the Fire Rod Dark Rooms remain in Logic and Randomizer with the Fire Rod. I don't believe it's a concern on it. Say now Drac's bailing. Although...
Yep. Understandable. Not even trying.
Sense.
Not even trying for the Dark Room, so...
Yep. Totally support that play. Let's see if Drac's going to make the King's Tomb play or not. Obviously, we know it's not a big deal. Probably will, though, on his way here.
But yeah, having the ability to clear the front of desert, like, there's just... You just take it, I think, before going to the mountain.
Although perhaps if you're feeling confident you're hovering, you might go to Death Mountain instead because you feel like you can basically full clear Death Mountain.
Yeah, but even then, like, we want the Moonbro. We want to go with the Moonbro, and like checking the front of the desert here just doesn't cost much time, given how many checks you're doing. Like,
was that the first compass that we've seen? I would guess that probably means it's not wild compasses, or that it's not wild compasses, but obviously we can't tell which compass that is.
I mean, Drag is gonna go there, I'm assuming, so we're gonna see then. Yeah, I wasn't... like, I'm not playing Mystery a lot, so I wasn't really paying attention to that being a thing as well. But desert was actually empty.
A lot of desert is not the play. Checkerboard would still be the play here, but...
Or the seed wants you to get a fire source on the mountain so you can kill whatever's in desert.
I was talking about the torch, that's why you can't actually tell whether it's there or not. But the fact that a compass just happened to show up in desert would make me more inclined to think it's wild compasses.
Oh, we have Sick Kid as well now. Fairy's always nice.
Goomba's going to be a little bit irked now that he went back to CAC so early. But, I mean, makes a lot of sense. You don't really want to have to dive that eastern dive. Drac's been sticking to Logic a little bit more, so I think I'd be surprised if you were to head to try to Super Bunny this.
It doesn't cost a lot of time, but yeah, it still costs a bit of time.
Nope, okay. And the answer's on the mountain.
Alright, so still in Logic as well.
If our runners are willing to go for the old man save and Randomizer. I usually am.
Oh yeah, Goomba, I forgot about again.
Yeah. Probably feels pretty dumb about that one, since it was part of why he routed in Checkerboard Cave too. And yes, Toffel, I believe that was Quake on Meyer.
I don't think you were trying to save that old man yet.
Yeah, the risk obviously is that if your old man dark cave is bad enough and you get to the old man, you can end up in a situation where you just kind of get hard locked. Although with the cape, that's a little less likely.
Yeah, actually, Cape makes it, and no, not even trying. I get that.
Yep, completely understandable. I probably would have gone for the save, but I'm not gonna begrudge anyone for not doing it.
So the question is, you should check Hera here before going to East Death Mountain or not.
It's tough to say. You could justify either one, as Spec Rock is just that single arrow. Or as the old hint system would say, a unique item is in Spectacle Rock Cave.
Oh, okay. Drake's going for the Super Bunny.
Drake is going for the Super Bunny now. Both these players pretty hardened entrance players. And so a little more willing to go for things that you see more in entrance modes.
It's two quick checks, but you have the small key as well. So like you might... Oh, there it is.
I was gonna say Goomba has the Tower of Hera small key, but does not have the Tower of Hera, or does not have a fire source. But that lamp just flipped that on the head.
Nice spike. Goomba is on 1 heart and takes a death.
Goomba does not want to live anymore.
Oh, but we have the fairy.
That being said, I don't think Goomba decides he's not actually going to bother with Big Key Chest.
He might try to come back after he's done with East Death Mountain.
Yeah, because he'll probably look to end this route with Spike Cave. Drac, meanwhile, just kind of following Goomba's footsteps here. Has clawed back a decent amount of the time back that he lost in Escape.
I mean, didn't go for like vanilla big key in Eastern.
Yep, he
lost a bit of time.
He didn't die in CAC. He also didn't go for
the water walk.
Fairy. So he's missed a couple of items that Goomba has, but nothing that's actually like logically relevant, except maybe.
I know why Goomba didn't go. I remember where that Hera small key was.
It was in the waterfall. Fairy.
Yeah, it was in the waterfall.
Yeah, it was out of logic. I still wouldn't have been surprised to see him do it, though. Since that's actually one of those things where you kind of want to leverage the sequence breaks that you've made, but that's a pretty bad place to have to go. And I believe that is the second Misery Mire key that we've seen, so we're still looking for one more to put left side of Mire in logic.
Hey, it's the Moon Pearl.
What a revelatory location for the Moon Pearl to be.
And now you kind of want to go to Dark Death Mountain to get Super Bunny chest.
Drac, meanwhile, has no options here, since he doesn't have that key.
So the good thing about that is they're going to be able to see the GT requirement as well.
Yep. You can go left, check the GT requirement, and then immediately afterwards, I think we'll see us save and quit to Link's house and head to Hype Cave, or we may not even save and quit. They may just.
I think this Goomba's like he's checking both of them. Drac can't. He doesn't have a lot of magic to work with. I don't think. I mean, he won't be able to.
He's gonna refill his magic on Super Bunny Cave.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You might want to go for Spike Cave while you're here.
You 100% want to go for Spike Cave while you're here. I wonder if Drac's going to hit the Dark Portal first. Yep. He's just going to leave it down there to... Oh, that's
he has a fairy. He still has a fairy. He still has a fairy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah. Goomba, I would guess, is probably going to give it a 1 or 2 try hover on Hookshot Cave. I think he's aware that Drac doesn't usually hover, and so is probably to be more willing to give up that. And I definitely have to say, that was a great shot by the Enox.
He was, definitely.
We're going to see the other medallion requirement is Bombos here. So Ether, just a nice thing to have for Randomizer rooms right now.
Depending
and
on
not really
what's on
anything
the other side of the gap, like you might just give up on trying to hover. No, you're not going for hover here.
Well,
I mean, you could like send.
you
send
could get it away. We'll
uh,
see. It looks like he's going for it. Enoxes are very annoying with these bombs here too. Well, yeah, Goomba gives it one try and says no thank you.
Like, Goomba. Oh, be careful. Be careful.
Goomba dodges the Hinox snipe.
Oh, Goomba forgot to check the GT requirement. Unfortunately, that
is
could
going to be upsetting for him. I can't really criticize anyone because I do that more often than I would care to admit, but you certainly would want to be checking the GT requirement if you can there. That being said, low crystal requirements on GT are pretty rare. I think they're more common in entrance, but yeah, I would say that you can't even get anything lower than 3 crystals in normal.
Drac and Goomba literally made the same mistake in Super Bunny.
Did they both fail the mirror push?
They did.
That's a little bit of an oof. Meanwhile, we're about to see our goal here coming from Goomba. He's going to go Hype Cave to the Pyramid, and I would guess probably heads to Catfish from there.
Probably. Yeah, he also has the money for
the money for Zora, he doesn't
and
have
he
the ability
already-
to splash delete to Zora.
Yeah, but
right now.
you already checked the waterfall. That's the thing.
Yep.
So you might be just inclined to just go and see what's on the ledge to see if he has to come back.
Not a super valuable Hype Cave, but it's not really the valuable prize here. Drac, meanwhile, I'm pretty sure is going to make no effort whatsoever to hover, knowing him. Yeah.
Eastern and Swamp for the red crystals.
Let's see if Drac remembers to check his.
It's playing it safe here, just getting an iframe.
No, this is actually. Okay, yeah, he's getting that frame. All right. I was worried that he was gonna just run straight into the portal at Spike Cave and miss the GT requirement. So Goomba would be very happy to see an open hole here.
4 crystals
for GT. That's pretty low.
Oh, nope. It's all dungeons. It's all dungeons. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if there's anything in GT, Goomba won't know when to go.
Yeah, that would be maybe the worry for Goomba, is that the GT requirement will slow him down. And especially like once you have 4 crystals, like if you have 4 crystals, the hookshot, the cane, the fire rod, you just kind of want to go at that point. Although obviously
GT big as well.
And GT big. And maybe if you're feeling really lucky, a fire rod and ice rod. Goomba, meanwhile, is then going to grab the first 2 chests here. Makes a lot of sense.
One chest. Doesn't have a key.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have a key. He's going to have to come back here to kill Aga at some point, but doesn't really know exactly.
Oh.
Told you it was 2 chests! I suspect we'll see the exact same play from Drac. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2 here and just kill Aga right now. Not so much, no.
Yeah, it's just when he goes to Catfish from here.
Yeah, I suspect Catfish and Zora.
Especially when he already checked the waterfall, so he doesn't have to leave that.
Goomba also, I assume, at the point where he got to the sign, realized that he forgot to check GT as well. He may have done it as soon as he dropped down to Spike Cave, although I'm not as sure about that.
He probably realized when he was checking the goal, for sure.
So I suspect he knows we may see him make another trip up there, although he will likely try to wait until he gets a lot of crystals before he does that.
4 isn't, it's still a high requirement, kinda.
4 crystals is a pretty high requirement. I mean, but not necessarily in these weights, because the lowest it can be is 3. It's a 30% chance to be at 4 or less.
So I have a lot to do and a lot to get. Like, we know for example, Gold is a pendant, so that's not like a free crystal for runners.
Yeah. Drac, meanwhile, finding out the news here. Goomba gonna head to Zora right now. Drac gonna make the same castle tower play that Goomba did and get one more chest than he expected to get in here. So we're kind of fighting with Drac's internet a little bit here.
Just a piece of heart. So living nothing in the Zora area.
Yep. Goomba's gonna have this completely cleared out. Drac has to put that mirror away for a second. Also note, they're getting both items out of Castle Tower, so no reason to kill Aghanim other than really as your last
They
resort.
never checked the lumberjack tree, though.
Yeah, that's a little bit spooky if you get that second key. I mean, more realistically, if you're looking at a situation where you might deliver Pyramid Fairy, you may just speculatively kill Aghanim there anyway, since you can use that to speed up the Pyramid Fairy delivery, and you can avoid actually having to check Lumberjack and just blind it. We'll see.
Might want to save the old man now. I mean,
I sure would.
yeah, I mean, you have a lamp. Just
Let's
save
see
the
how
old
nasty
man.
this cave would have been.
It's not that. Oh no,
This
that.
cave's
It,
free. Turtle's
Is
a
it
little annoyed, but this cave's still pretty free.
yeah, it's kind of hard to. Can you see that in the dark? I'm not sure. No, you can't. I'm dumb. You don't see
No,
them
but you
in
don't
the
need to kill it. You can just boost through it, and you're fine.
Can push you in a bad spot though. But yeah.
As,
Oh no, the
Chat
Zeros
is
are
being
bad.
a little bit rude to my co-commentator right now, reminding him that the big fish here does in fact sell an item for 500 rupees. Lynn going quiet and wanting to murder me right now.
A little bit, but we're good.
That's okay. That's pretty much the normal state with me.
So, funny enough, we don't have a fire rod, but we have 3 keys to Skullwoods for reasons.
Try actually not going for Zora here. Makes sense if he wants to combo that entire area together, I guess. Although with Zora, Ledge is going to feel kind of dumb about it.
Drag made a lot of time with those skips.
Yeah, and luckily enough for him, none of them are things that are going to go back to bite him, and he may come back at some point since we're looking at basically an 80 key seed. With, I think Kelpus is not shuffled, but...
Keeping the front of Skullwoods, I can see the play.
Zadrak's still in a mindset of probably that he's feeling a little bit behind and is going to be trying to cut some corners and avoid some double dips of dungeons if he can. But I do expect him to drop in and do the first 4 chests in Thieves' Town. Oh. Well, you can avoid double dipping Skull Woods, but you aren't going to know it in time.
But doesn't have a lot of health right now, but yeah, Bloom. No, they're still on green mail.
They are still on green mail, I believe.
Might want to take a death out of that check.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I probably just take the death and not grab the heart.
And you grab a heart because sometimes there are some Gyptos waiting for you here or this.
I mean, if you have a sword, you can bat them away.
Oh, he has powder. Okay. He has also a bug. No. Where was the bug net again? I saw that. Oh, he was on floating island.
Oh, yeah, that's one that our runners aren't going to be grabbing.
So no, you don't have a bug net, and you're not gonna have a bug net. That moth / green pendant actually looks pretty suspicious right now.
Yeah, I'm real suspicious of that right now. just having those 3 small keys together is very, very suspicious. We will see if it is a killable boss here.
Also, small key to swamp blocked by the fire rod that is in Skullwoods. That could. I mean, Drag's gonna go back to Skullwoods.
Goomba missed. Yeah, okay. I think Goomba, you missed the torch here.
How do you?
I think you have to boost through it.
You have to boost through it, yeah. Might as well use the lamp. Oh, you do that. Might as well use the lamp while you're here. Kind of want to save health for whatever's gonna be in Skullwoods, because we don't know yet. We don't know yet.
There are some really nasty bosses you can get in Skullwoods, and we do not have the information on whether this is boss shuffle or not. It is 70% against it being boss shuffle, but you never know.
That skull is a bit nasty as well. And it is Motula.
Ooh, that's a not great place to take a death for Drac.
Definitely. So we still don't know. Might be a vanilla moth, maybe.
I mean, more likely than not, it's probably not boss shuffle. I would put it in the like 80% camp right now, but it obviously is possible that you get a vanilla one. Drac gonna go straight back to the punishment mill.
I think Goomba's gonna turn in that green pennant immediately.
I feel like you almost have to. That's a super suspicious.
Like with 3 keys, like Moth in logic requires. Oh yeah, you can also go for desert. I see. Makes a lot of sense.
That'll also give him a lot of certainty on whether it's boss shuffle or not.
Especially after you've seen that Moth.
Oh, so yeah, he's probably in a position where he thinks it's likely that it's not boss shuffle, but wants the confirmation here. And so he will find out when he goes to kill Lanmo or someone distantly related to Lanmo.
Yeah, having that smoke in the back of Skullwoods is locked by the fire rod. Like, Drag will just go back if he has nothing to do. But
I was like, honestly, that's good for Drac. Like, he's not going to be baited into Swamp Palace, I think, without getting that fire rod. Trinex definitely can't. Cold Stare can spawn in the Moth Arena. That is definitely a fight that you can get, because it's one of those surprisingly easy fights, because Cold Stare is not immune to the spike damage, and so you can just punt him into the spikes. As Asdra just said in chat. Looks like vanilla bosses to me. I'd be in the high 90s of confidence at this point with this setting.
Oh. But do we want to go now? Oh, we also have 2 Ice Palace small keys and the big key.
I'm thinking the word really loudly right now, Lynn.
Note in Kisanity, the right side of Ice Palace is always hookshot locked.
Is that true?
Yes. I mean, here with both. In non-entrance, I'm not sure.
I don't think that's true in non-entrance. So the difference between logic in non-entrance and entrance is that non-entrance logic is never conditional. Oh, sorry, entrance logic is never conditional.
But now that we have now that we have both keys and the big key,
oh, that's a really good find for Drac. That's a huge find for Drac.
With both keys and the big key available, I want to say that is true right now. That the right side of Ice Palace is gonna be hookshot locked, logically.
Drac though is
going to pod.
Going to head to pod, even though the Skullwoods big key is telling him to go after his fire rod. But that makes a degree of sense. You've got 4 small keys and the boss key already. If there's a bow in there, you can just beat the dungeon right now. Goomba, meanwhile, making the Ice Palace play. Can't really fault him, given where the logic breadcrumbs are leading you. I suppose Goomba would probably love nothing more than to see the
Chain of Samaria here.
Chain of Samaria in here. Drac freezes
Taking a
up
lot
a
of
little bit.
damage. That room in Iceball is just bad every time. Why are there spikes all the time in that room? I don't know.
Yeah, there's some real bad stuff you get in Ice Palace. As Drac is making his way into Palace of Darkness, very unsteadily on his internet.
Oh,
So
getting a fairy here is nice.
Yeah.
The spikes here are also nice to kill the Gip though, to get the key.
Yes, very nice. Alright, so we didn't see anything that Drax picked up yet. I'm going to try to keep an eye on his menu if we see anything. His key count suggests he did not at least find a pod key from the checks that he's done so far. Remember, of course, that nothing in pod is key locked by the bow other than Helmosaur in Randomizer.
I mean, I get the play because pod also looks suspicious right now with all four keys and the big key.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this play at all.
But there's stuff you can do. Try to delay it. Try to get a bow to go for Helmosaur King. Bombos is nice though. It's required as well. So
yeah, that actually is a little unfortunate for Drac though, because it might say, especially if he decides, hey, I'm just going to go beat Landmo, you end up in a position where you can do all of Ice Palace without getting your Fire Rod. But I expect him to do it necessarily.
Nice big spike. You can't move, I think, from this position.
Curious if Drac is going to get away. There's the big key to Eastern.
So, in logic, because Randomizer, only the bow. And we have 4 pod keys, so that key is in logic. That's a lot of crystals already, or dungeons we can clear.
Yeah. I would say Drac can actually beat Eastern Palace. It is not bow.
Speaking of bow,
there's that bow. Drac is willing to just give up that last pot key, so we will see if... I didn't see anything in here that looked like it should sub-pixel deflection you based on the Randomizer things.
I don't think so. The spike up there is up there as well. I don't think it can do that.
There's some really dumb things Randomizer can do with your bomb jumps. So Drac is probably going to mirror and go for Eastern.
Definitely. You're just going for Eastern here.
Yes. I mean, the only way he doesn't is if he kind of forgets that you don't need a bow for Eastern, but he seemed prepared for not needing it for pod, and so I would suspect. And yes, that is the, I think, definitive confirmation that I was looking for non-wild compasses. No, that bow is not locked behind the Fire Rod. Because Drac could get the bow right now just from the Bombos and the Flippers from Landmo. There we go. Drac finally appealing to my better senses and keep dashing through the cannonballs here. Quick swap is fun, everybody. I would say, and Bombos is kind of a low-key underrated item in Randomizer as well. Speaking of terrible room placements, holy moly.
Gotta be careful here. I know he has a blue goo for goals there. At this point, it's safe to assume that it's.
I think it's very
not boss shuffle.
It's not boss shuffle. Drac is not sure that it's Armos Knights because he hasn't seen any bosses yet, but this is going to be his first one. and should still lean that it's probably not boss shuffle, since it would require a 30% draw to make it boss shuffle. And yep, Drac pulling out my favorite strategy in Randomizer. The, oh no, let's just go and cast bombos. Because everything else in this room is terrible.
I'm pretty sure that bow is hookshot locked, though.
Is it? They have both small keys. They can't
Yeah, but
lock
like
themselves out of the right side.
you can use all keys and not be able to go to the right side.
Is that actually?
Yes, the last small
Yes,
key.
yes, you're right. Yes. I had to think about it a second, but I agree with you. Drac, meanwhile, finding his cheat code button.
So literally, what you can do in Ice Palace, like you go there, and you use all your small keys. Like you also use the small key just in the room before Cold Stare, and
Nope,
then you don't have any more keys to open the key door on the right of the room with in Vanilla the Spike.
So Drac is going to be trying to use Tempered Sword spins here, I think, or pokes.
And so the only way to get to the right side of Ice Palace would be to have the hookshot.
Yep, you're right. Tempered Sword spins is what I actually meant to say is Tempered Sword class damage with MS spins. Although, because for some reason the Master Sword does reduce damage to Armos Knights. Armos Knights was probably the weirdest boss the damage tables in the game. Which is why you're also seeing Drac trying to get some pokes in instead of actually the slashes sometimes.
The key of Misery Maya on Hobo as well. That's pretty neat. Don't have Quake or Cane of Samara, but everything is required in that seed, so not.
Yep. That being said, Drac hasn't done any of the flipper stuff yet, so.
Goomba is making the pod plays, missing a key over Drac, but I don't think there was anything relevant.
I think it was a heart piece in hallway that is. I guess I didn't see what was in the big key chest, which is the one that I assume Goomba's actually going to leave behind compared to Drac.
He's leaving both.
Going to have a much nicer time with his Armos Knights than Drac did. We'll see if Drac is going to make the play back to Skullwoods now. His options are kind of dwindling in terms of logic. It's that or Landmo for him, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or I guess Zora, but that's not going to be a play he's going to seek out without the flippers. And it looks like he's heading up. And I mean, like, the fact that he has the Skullwoods big key from Purple Chest is really, really nice for him. Like, if anything's in there, that's a really good find for Drac, because Goomba's not going to be looking forward, A, to doing Purple Chest, but B, to going back once he goes there. Alright, there's Goomba thankfully getting us a nice little look of stuff in here. So Shooter Room was a map to Thieves Town, so Drac does have that information if he wants it.
Right. Nothing in the big Skullwoods.
Not that maps are particularly valuable. But yeah, that big key to Skullwoods ends up being a big
Actually, since we know that it's not Compass Shuffle, Goomba knows that the Compass is in the big chest.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, you're right. And if he does, like, he should absolutely piece that together. It can be a little bit difficult to piece some of those things together when you're playing with unclear, wild things, but. Drac's gonna be real annoyed at that one.
Could have been useful for the Armos Knights. Farad actually does a lot of damage on the Armos Knights.
Yep. Fire Rod's a really surprisingly good weapon to Armos Knights. But I assume Drac now is going to make the similar plays that Goomba made here. I would expect to see Skullwoods into Desert, into Ice Palace. So kind of no harm, no foul for both of these runners.
a bit annoying that Drag already did Eastern, and now he's gonna get the green pendant, so we'll have to turn that. I mean,
But he's gonna get the bow.
He's gonna get the bow from Ice Palace, so yeah. It's going back to pod anyways.
Yeah, so it's not a huge deal. I mean, the annoying one for Drac would be if he doesn't get the bow and just decides I'm going to check Marine Pendant right away instead of going to Desert, which he might do because there's not a lot of stuff that he has left. The green 20 that we just saw being the item replacement for the boots or the sword that the runner started with. That's a lovely little bridge. I feel like when you found the compass, you should go for bridge chest first so you don't have to rezone into the dungeon.
Especially with quicks out now. Like, the only reason you didn't do that before was like... I mean, especially... Don't do that in normal mode, because there's a chance you just find a key there.
Drac, but in figuring out the puzzle here a little bit faster than Goomba did.
In Sanity, if it, like, you're always gonna get that chest, and if you have the mirror, like, it's just faster to mirror out after that. So after you kill Moth, you don't have to re-enter the dungeon. So a bit of time save here.
So Goomba's skipping out on both Hellway and Big Key Chest, makes sense because he can kill Helmasaur here, and hopefully will never want to come back for him. Especially since I believe we know that Hellway and Big Key Chest were both nothing. Drac got a bottle from Big Key Chest, I think. That Goomba's not gonna grab. Drac also
careful there.
Strongly suspecting the non-shuffled bosses. A brief reminder that the game is not prepared for Randomizer.
Okay, Goomba got it. It was a bit close. It was one hit from death.
Alright, so Drac doesn't know it, but the play he wants to make now is Desert Palace.
Oh.
There's the Ice Rod. Not really a big deal.
I mean, it's in a great spot, since you have to do that anyways.
Yeah.
So
there's not real... I don't think there's really a risk of Drac running to Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod.
The thing is, depending on what... Drac used all his keys to pod.
The one risk is if, like, 2 pod keys are sitting inside of Turtle Rock, and that would be really bad for Drac. Alright, so Goomba now going to head to the back of the dungeon and get what he can. He decided to just go for the boss, which makes a lot of sense. Like, you go for the things you have to do first. Although I would maybe argue against it in this case.
So going back through Skullwoods, so guessing heading towards Bumper and
Graveyard Ledge.
You're at Graveyard Ledge, thank you.
Which makes sense, and Drac is very, very low on options here that are logical. Goomba now saying, hey, I can beat Eastern Palace. Bumper Cave, not the answer.
We're gonna have our... Here. That's our first check of Lumberjack, 1 hour in.
Nothing particularly suspicious about Lumberjack in the seed so far, but you never know. It could just be like a big key or something that you need to pick up.
Oh, it is a big key.
It is a big key. So notably, the only hard-required big keys that we haven't found are Turtle Rock and GT and Thieves Town?
Yep.
Whereas Hera and Swamp Palace are still out there.
Hera needed in Logic.
Yes, obviously Hera's needed in Logic, but if the hookshot is not locked in upstairs of Tower of Hera, it is very, very easy to break around. But yeah, I suspect if Drac gets the opportunity at all now to go for Aghanim, he will just be taking it.
Drac still skipped the Vandal
There's
Big
another
chest, by
big
the way.
key. He skipped what?
The Vandal Big chest in Eastern.
He did, you're right. I guess we'll see what's there. there's GT, so that makes it a little less likely that that Aga Tower key is, or that Aga Tower big key is 100% required, but we'll see. Also really nice for Drac to have, because it will let him get to the GT climb. Notable, though, that Drac is not a hoverer, and Goomba's not really a hoverer.
He's a bouncer, though.
But he is a bouncer. And so if the hookshot is, for instance, on the climb in GT, that becomes a really, really nasty spot.
Oh, Goomba also making the play of skipping the Vanilla Big Key chest.
Well, if something's there, this seed's going to be a little bit of a clown fiesta. But I don't really blame either of the runners for going for it, especially not Drac, just because he's... Alright, and he is making the play he needs to make here, and he's going to go to Landmount and get his flippers, which will probably lead him directly into Ice Palace.
They don't have much left. Goomba,
Yeah.
you're kind of low on health. Thank you. Go have, like, what? Hookless Swamp?
Drac doesn't have Hookless Swamp. Unless you mean between the two of them, yeah, Hookless Swamp.
Drac does have Hookless Swamp. He has the small key. Oh, he doesn't. I mean, he's gonna get the flippers.
He doesn't have the flippers, is what I meant. I was more thinking in the frame of reference of what is Drac going to be looking to do here. And I think he has Desert and Turning in the Green Pendant right now. And I suspect that getting the required dungeon done is a little more enticing. So notably, Pod being a crystal gives us our third crystal of the seed. So only one more necessary for our runners to be able to go into GT. Goomba does not know that, obviously, but is now at the point where he might be able to go into GT. And so that may actually be a little bit of an attractive play for him. Although he is missing things like the GT Big Key and such. Pull that into logic. I think Goomba's probably going to be heading to South Dark World now.
I mean, he hasn't touched that yet.
Yep.
So
he's going to do Smith Chain. He may even... we'll see if he comes up and checks the Skullwood's Big Chest. That can be a little bit difficult to remember sometimes.
I mean, you're not getting a lot from that southward check, so it's either you just go into Hookless Swamp, or you just go back to Skullwoods and do the north Dark Hole checks.
Yeah, I think
I
those
feel
are
like
very, very defensible plays. I think if you remember that has to be the compass in the big chest as Goomba, then you go to Hookless Swamp. But if you don't remember that, I think maybe Skullwoods is a little bit more nice.
He also has that book, so you can check the Bombos tablet.
I'll say also Drac is probably going to, after Ice Palace, turn around and just do his flipper checks, since he hasn't touched them yet. So he'll get that Tower of Hera's small key. He'll get the, which by the way is another thing that actually could logically be around there now.
It is definitely in logic right now.
But it's not just in logic, I actually think it's a little suspicious. Alright, Drac is... No, he's going to get the key. Alright. I actually wouldn't have gotten that key. I would have just run by this room because it's terrible. But I also understand muscle memory and not really thinking, oh, I have 2 small keys already, I can just skip out on this one. It helps also that I've spent the last, 2 weeks practicing for co-pilot mode. So I'm used to telling my runners things like, hey, you have this small key, you can feel free to skip this one. I believe nothing of interest really except for the book in Ice Palace. And the bow.
The bow, definitely. But still no pod key for Drac, so not going to be able to come back yet.
Pod key to kill Helmosaur. I mean, really, Drac's looking for something that will give him 1 more crystal. So he's going to want the pod small key to get crystal 3, and then crystal 4 is the big one for him. Especially if he can pull the hookshot first, since then he will just be able to do GT on the climb, like in that single trip. I think nothing particularly bad in here that's going to cause the bomb jump to not work as well. It's a very common room for Randomizer to mess up your ability to do the bomb jump. but I think you need a flying enemy in this room to ruin it.
I mean, if you want to clear ice puddles here, you're kind of forced to do that, because otherwise you would need the hook shot.
Yeah, you have to try. Making the jump this time. Oh, does Drac have a potion?
Yeah, he has that blue.
I don't love
Kinda
having
wonder-
it here, but it's not a big deal.
I mean, he has bomb boost now, so using it isn't that bad. Like, Goomba didn't have bomb boost going through ice puddles, but now that you have bomb boost, it just makes it way safer. Oh, I didn't remember that room.
Tam, Drac is theoretically capable of hovering, but it's very, very controller dependent, and the controller he uses now is not a good one for hovering with. And so he would definitely not consider himself. I do not believe he will climb GT thinking I will just hover World War II. I would be very surprised. Yeah, and Drac should be free to use a little bit more magic here with that Bombos. So he's gonna powder this, yep.
I mean, yes, you have to kill Argus, but if you go into Ganon's Tower without a hookshot, you kind of want to have it done.
Yeah.
While you're here, and that's why you would consider climbing.
Like it's not necessarily it's going to be a hover seat because you have to kill Argus. It's a question of can you single dip Ganon's Tower, which is a much more interesting and useful thing to be able to do. Oh, and there's the last bottle for Drac, I think. So Drac gonna go iced tea to the two chests here. Makes a lot of sense.
This room can be deadly though in Randomizer, which is fine here.
Yeah, this could be a little bit of a brutal room. I mean, this cape is doing the seat a big solid right now.
Yeah, definitely very helpful.
Especially when you look at this room and just shake your head and say, nope, no. Goomba looks like he's going to make the hookless swamp play, which is...
No, he's going for bombos. He hasn't done
you're
hype cave yet.
You're right.
He hasn't done hype cave yet as well.
Yes, he has. He did it with the goal.
Oh, true. I forgot. So he doesn't have much left.
So the hookless swamp's starting to look better and better right now. Yep. Looks like that's the play Goomba's going to make. Perfectly understandable play with the information at his disposal.
I mean, you don't have much left at this point. If you're Goomba, you have like Lumberjack, Gravel Ledge, Harrow Basement, Eat a Tablet.
Yep. Gravel Ledge is kind of a nasty spot right now for Goomba, though. See if Drac's gonna take the refill room. Probably should, honestly.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Especially after that. Now he's just gonna take the ferry.
He's gonna, drop to the ferries. Can do that as well.
I think he. Okay, whatever. He's just gonna try to. Drac, take the refill room. Drac, take the refill room. So he should just be able to powder the anti-ferry if he's fast enough here.
Not a lot of magic going into gold there though. Could be troublesome.
I mean, he's got bombos and then can in half magic.
Oh yeah, and he's gonna get 2 more here, so
Yeah,
this is gonna be fine.
He'll be fine magic-wise. Well, welcome to the There's Always a Wall Master in This room. I don't think there actually is one in the seed, but this is
Nope.
one of the worst places to get wall mastered. Where did Goomba get the cane? I definitely missed that. Is it the first chest?
It was the first chest, I think. Because I even checked the map chest and was nothing. But I wasn't. I was looking at Drac having trouble.
I was watching Drac's shenanigans during that. But Drac is now going to be sitting at 2 pendants and 2 crystals. One behind Goomba, who has had the bow when he went into pod.
Hey, that bow is definitely in logic. So pod is. I mean, we need all. You need more keys.
They're 2 small keys short of pod being in logic, but. Drac gonna head to Waterfall Ferry, Zoral Edge, etc. here.
Gonna get the Misermire's big key if I'm right on Hobo,
yep,
and yeah.
There's Misermire big key, which we still need Quake to be able to do, but once Quake is out there, Misermire is full clearable for its 7 items.
The thing is, Kane opens TR only right now.
Yeah.
So, especially when you don't have the big key.
Goomba really, really desperately wants that Kane to lock the hookshot right now.
You might want to do all you can before heading into TR at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if Goomba does the North Oracle checks before heading to the mountain. Especially when it's the only thing he has left down there.
Yeah, good chunk of TR open though right now.
Do you really want to go there without the big key? At least the big key. Like 2 small keys you can get to Laser Bridge.
Do I want to? No. Could I be forced to? Yes. Especially as Goomba with not having checked the GT goal, I actually might be willing to make that play before doing the other stuff. Because I don't know, I might have access to GT right now. And I have 4 small keys already to GT, which means the compass room is in logic. As the red guard decides he doesn't want to deal with this anymore.
Right, last check in Swamp that we can do, and it's nothing. And where do we go now? So Drac is doing the Swamp play as well. I mean, it doesn't have...
Bumbus. And Goomba is... we don't actually know, because this could just be a flute spot for him.
Oh, it's going up. Fortunately, gonna be in GT and not gonna have that big key, so they'll have to go back. It's not that bad if they have to go back for TR eventually.
I mean, what Goomba really wants is to be able to find the Turtle Rock big key in Turtle Rock. At which point he can at least get into GT here. And also Misermire is not accessible without Quake. I do wonder if Drac's going to leave at the Canis Samaria, though.
Oh, there's the pod.
There's the
Small
pod
for
key.
Drac. Not checking her
I'm
basement
surprised
here.
when I'm checking Hera basement here, actually. I'm really surprised you don't check Hera basement here if you're Goomba. Thing I actually wonder is Drac going to get that pod key and turn around and immediately kill Homosaur instead of continuing on the mountain? Because that way, if you happen to find the items in Turtle Rock to kill Trinex, you can do GT right then.
You definitely. I mean,
I think you have to turn around, Mr. Drac.
I think that you have to turn around.
Let's see if he leaves here. Nope,
No.
he keeps going.
I mean, it only opens TR, and like I said, you don't really want to go with only 2 keys. So I get the play. If you had the big key if you had the big key, maybe might have thought about it. But without the big key, it's kind of hard to just leave. He's leaving. He's actually leaving.
Big play. I mean, Drax doing a good job of making up for the shenanigans in Escape, and he is shaving some time off by doing this.
Yeah, after getting that small key from Ether, you kind of have to go for pot because you want.
All right, here's another question. You kill Homos or you get the Ice Rod, your Drac. Do you go back for the big key, or is the big key now just your last location? For Eastern Palace big key.
It's still your last location.
So I'm surprised both runners skipped it. I kind of wonder if Goomba skipped it knowing that Drac has a tendency on burning that chest.
Probably.
Alright, let's see. Will Drac leave, and will Drac do Hera big key chest if he... He's not leaving. He is doing Hera big key chest. And D-Web, it's actually not shaving time if he doesn't do left side eventually. Even if he does do left side, if he comes back with the hook shot, it saves time. It's significantly faster to do left side with the hook shot. Drac, meanwhile, taking a pause to reassess his life here.
So... Oh, you're leaving. You are leaving after that quake, definitely.
Bye! Bye! Goomba's gonna do a Hera big key chest, I think, here.
Especially when you don't have the big key to TR, you're definitely leaving.
Yeah, so
Oh.
Goomba has the information now. Unfortunately, if Meyer is a crystal, he's gonna...
Oh, that small key to TR is actually relevant.
That's pretty relevant. Turtle Rock small keys suck in key sanity modes. So if that fourth Turtle Rock key is
They're very bad
nasty,
in
that's
sanity.
a really bad skip for Goomba. Or if there's something in the Turtle Rock lava chest. Which I would... Well, we'll see if Drac leaves right away or not. With the Quake, I would, but...
Cody's 80. I mean, if Goomba managed to find the third one somewhere. Also, like, he's going back up anyways at some point, so I can see why he's still skipping it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it.
It's not like it's relevant right now. Like, Drac's also
But
gonna
it
leave
could
it to
be.
Quake.
Like, you're right, it's not going to end up being relevant, but it absolutely could be relevant. And... Well, we'll see.
There's no way you're staying after, like, there's 7 items in Meyer, and probably the crystal
So
that will
Drac
open.
at least doesn't have the Ice Rod, so unlike Goomba, well, I guess they're both 2 items from being able to clear Turtle Rock, just 2 different items. That being said, I expect Drac to leave because if Quake is, or if Meyer is a crystal, as Drac also passes the intelligence test here, then Drac knows he can just go into GT right now. Although that's not a super enticing play without a hookshot for him.
So we only have 2 small keys to Meyer. Usually the third one is in Meyer as well, but technically not in Logic right now with the information we have, but we don't really mind at this point. We're just trying to get some
Quake's and Chain Chomp, right?
Quakes and Chain Chomp, yes.
I actually think if I'm Drac and I get this Quake, I go to Mimic Cave, and then I set up a Scum for the lava chest. Because I kind of want to Scum the lava chest anyway right now, if I can set it up, and not orphaning Mimic Cave. Yeah. Drac's going. We'll see if he sets up the scum or not, or if he's brave enough to just go for it.
Oh, second key to Castle Tower. That's the big key available.
Goomba doesn't know though.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He does lack that critical information, and I don't think Drac is scumming this.
He might just, yeah, no.
Or if he is, he's not doing it right. Because if he were to plan to set up a scum here, he would want to just come back here after Mimic Cave. There's no reason to get the key first. So I suspect he's just going to go to Mimic Cave and then flit away and do Meyer. This is his plan right now. Also, that Lumberjack key could easily just be Turtle Rock right now.
Definitely. I mean, we're still missing one small key for Trinex, but technically we also need one more key for Pod to have that crystal in logic to open GT. Or it's just the key to Thief Town. That's one out for Goomba when he's gonna go to Tease Town to get a crystal. I mean, he's gonna get a fourth one here, but like he can get another one kind of free.
Yep, he's not coming.
Yeah, Drac not having silvers, gonna have a tougher time on Vitreous.
Yep. Not a huge deal, but a little bit of time loss. If he has Cape and Half Magic, that makes it a pretty quick cut. Oh, that's actually a good point, Tam, about the scum. Is that you have to go back for the key if you do that.
Or do you? You should get the fourth one, you don't.
You don't. Oh, that's true. If you do find the fourth one, you actually don't have to do that, though. Also, I do believe, because we're working with conditional logic as a possibility, if whatever in the lava chest actually locks the Turtle Rock big key, you could just be required to go there with 3 keys anyway. Or 2 keys, even as little. Kind of surprised to not watch Drac just pull out bombos here, but...
So it is this sword retreats.
And that is a crystal, so Drac has the ability to go to GT. Or will, after he does this in Pod.
I mean, he'll get the Thieveson big as well. Does he have that Thieveson small? Where was that? And there's no question Goomba's just going to tease down here. There's no reason not to.
Yep, absolutely. Though, then it remains, Goomba's going to have 4 crystals. Is he just going to make the GT play? With the 4 keys, with the cane, with the fire rod?
The question is if it goes north after thieves.
I feel like going north is the wrong play to make. Like, objectively speaking, in this seat, absolutely he wants to go north. But I think in terms of the best value that you can get, I don't think that you want to go north if you're Goomba. Yeah, I think it depends maybe on how full cleary you're feeling versus someone like Drac, who, while he has a tendency to skip a little more often, actually is one of his advantages here is the fact that he has been a tiny bit more full cleary than Goomba. Although in different ways, the places where Goomba's full cleared haven't really worked out for him, whereas that GT big key is looming pretty large.
So we're only missing the hook shot and the TR wiki to...
And we have a visible big key.
And we have a visible big key.
And there's the possibility that could be the Hera big key up there and be required as well.
So it doesn't matter if... We still don't know our last pendant. It doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah, absent an item on the pedestal, which isn't particularly likely with what we're missing. Not a lot to really worry about.
Okay, nothing in the big chest, because I'm not sure Drac has that small key. It's not gonna be relevant.
Yeah, that's a important find or an important fact for Drac. Since I think there's a very real chance that Drac just heads to Pod and Thieves Town after this. Actually, I would probably suspect him do Pod, Aghanim, get that big key, and do Thieves Town in the same trip. And we have pod key number 6, in case Drac had missed either tablet. Goomba with a nice clean blind kill here. Drac with a nice clean hatred of this room as well.
Gonna have a harder time. I mean harder. He has a cape. Goomba's heading north here.
He's going for Graveyard Ledge. Well... Yeah, he is. And importantly as well, he also knows that the Skullwoods... Oh, he's checking Lumberjack. I actually think he might not do Graveyard Ledge here. I think he might try to leverage doing Aghanim along with Lumberjack. Drac, meanwhile, cleans up phase 1 of Vitreous and is about to fire 8 shots into the man's eye. A little rude.
Getting the portal back, so he's doing Graveyard Ledge. I mean, if you had the hook shot, I could see him just going.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have the hook shot to get across. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, yeah.
So you don't really want to orphan that, because you already orphaned, like, Vanilla Big Key in Eastern.
Both runners have a good number of orphans, they just have very different orphans.
So yeah, Drac going back into Pod. Gonna get that Ice Rod. Probably going back into... I mean, going to Thieves Town before heading to GT. I mean, you can, after you get... You definitely kill Aga here.
Because if that's the Turtle Rock big key, you want to be able to clear out Turtle Rock.
Like, Goomba's gonna kill Aga here. For sure.
Yes. Absolutely. In fact, he's going to do it right now. And Drac getting to, like we said, he never bothered to route in. Is this a Thieves Town key? Yeah. Okay. Warfjig, it is a 4 crystal all dungeon goal.
Yeah, aside from GT right now, the only thing we don't know about is that when the big key Japanese turn, I think, like among all two runners, we basically got everything that is available to us that is not in GT.
That just is a little suspicious, though.
Is it? I don't know. Like,
I think that chest might be the other Turtle Rock key, actually. That
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me.
we have 4 crystal in logic to open.
Well, that's a fair point,
GT.
but you don't have the hook shot, so you can't really do anything on...
Yeah, but we have 4 keys.
But the cane and the 4 key, yeah, that's fair. You have the entire right side, and that takes you to the back. Fair enough.
So yeah, GT is definitely suspicious. That big key on the lumberjack's probably as suspicious.
Yeah. I feel like that's going to be either Turtle Rock or, I mean, I guess it could be Swamp as well and just lead to an item in Swamp that you need. Like a vanilla hookshot or something like that, but... There's definitely some levels of suspicious here.
That Agatha was actually pretty nice.
Yep. It was very nicely executed and also not too bad in terms of the random spawns that you get.
Okay, never mind. And that.
And then everything
again,
changed when the Poke Nation attacked.
Yeah, Drake's definitely a bit behind right now because he has to catch up on a few dungeons.
Yeah, I think the one leverage point that Drax still really has is that Hera. There's the Turtle Rock key from Hera. And I suspect Goomba won't skip it the next time he goes into Hera. But there's always the chance that Goomba decides that he's in sort of, well, I've skipped it for so long, if something's there, I've lost mode. But that will, I think, depend on how much else is unlocked.
I mean, there's also the fact that there's another one in the pool that could just save Goomba from doing the her basement chest.
Yes, absolutely. And just as we're at kind of a low moment, just a reminder when you can, give these runners a follow. They're both really good runners and could use the support and love. So if you have a chance, make sure to shout them out and catch their streams.
Also, don't forget to follow all SpeedGaming channels 1 to 6, and the league channels. The league channels that also like broadcast a lot of Link to the Past League, and also give a follow to my co-com and tracker, 2D Alazun and 2D Tones for the tracking.
But you should actually follow Lund. He's far more entertaining than I am. As Drac heads into Thieves Town and Goomba is going to make the Lumberjack play now. Thanks, Aga, for giving us a nice natural lull in the game.
Alright, so what are we gonna get? Hera wouldn't be that bad at this point.
I suspect we're going to get Hera.
Swamp, probably the worst. NTR is definitely the one
Swamp would be
you
terrible.
want.
Turtle Rock is a giant Monka S.
Oh.
That's so rude.
That's very rude, especially that you needed to.
I can't tell who that's ruder for.
I mean, you can't have. That's the thing. That key you cannot have. I mean, you can if you hover TR, but no. You cannot have that key the first time you go into Swamp, because that second Agatha small key was locked behind the cane.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
So,
I suspect Drac will not skip out on left side Swamp a second time, but we'll see.
I mean, you
If
have
to
access
go
to
back in for
yeah,
that.
you have access to GT, so
Yeah, Drax gonna be in no hurry to get that. The only thing he might is because Drax gonna really want the hookshot, but I would not be surprised to find the hookshot in the GT basement on the right side right now, at all. Goomba heading
to GT.
to GT right now, yeah.
He skipped Terra basement one more time. I don't really blame him.
No, I don't either. He might come back if he gets nothing out of GT.
I am not sure. I mean, the hookshot's most likely there at this point.
Yeah.
It's just there. Because if it's in Swamp Big Chest, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, Swamp Big Chest is one of those spots you get that key and just say, no, I'm good. No, thank you.
The thing is still... Oh wait, no, you have boots, so doing full clearing GG is not even that bad.
No.
Especially when you're still looking for TR keys if you're Goomba.
Goomba is going to clear everything except perhaps Validation Chest here.
I think you still skip Title Room here, given how close you are to go mode. Oh, he's doing it.
I agree with you, but he is not. Drac wants that 4th Turtle Rock key to be somewhere miserable. Like, say, the Tower of Terror Big Key chest. Oh, wait. Oh, Drac heading to his Aga Tower play now.
Not
so close to being necessary.
Alright, I think I got 4 keys, but do you keep going right here? I don't think so. Like,
I don't think so.
Like,
I think I'm just going to use the boots and do the bomb jumps.
Like, you're still looking for
with boots, it's not bad. Without boots, bomb jumping the entire thing is really terrible, but when you have boots, it's really not a big deal. Yep. Oh, that might be the bailout for Goomba right there.
Oh, you keep going. You keep going. You just keep going. Here.
Yeah. Now you go.
You're hookshot for go mode. You just keep going here. No need to check. I mean, there's one chest you might want to check after you're done here, which would be the map chest. Yes. That was a nasty anti-fairy.
I think I do Turtle Rock first anyway.
I mean, yeah, you do, for sure.
The net can't be required in any mode that's not swordless, Fina. Because otherwise you need just sword to unlock the back of a tower.
Nice sword.
Very, very useful and important sword. Yeah, I agree. I think that Hook and Lava Room is basically Drax out at this point.
Oh, there we go. And then you still did TR here.
Yes.
And that's so much Goomba.
Drax to be on Goomba's trail, but I don't really see where his...
You still have to full clear the GT basement, so I mean full clear the right side.
Yeah. Why would Goomba do Hera? He's literally in Go mode.
He's gonna do Hera on his way back to GT. It doesn't really matter.
Sorry, I understand. You mean actually? I thought you meant the Hera Big Key chest. Yes, okay.
Oh.
No, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, he's probably doing it on his way back. It doesn't really matter much.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Since you're doing that, like, back and forth into... Oh, Drac found a mail. What was that?
The mail was in Mimic Cave.
Oh, I see. Because I saw Goomba, like, took a lot of damage. I was wondering... Oh, that's kind of a nasty death. I don't think that's gonna be relevant, but still... Might not feel good about it.
Yeah, he's gonna feel bad, but he's still a mountain climb and GT basement ahead.
Goomba taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, the blue mail coming in low-key clutch here.
No way you're avoiding that ball and chain guard here in this position.
You could cape it.
I guess. Do I have to get that key? If he's fast enough, might be able to powder the anti-fairy. Don't think that's a thing in that room. Oh, there's one.
Yep, there's one. There's the exact correct number of anti-fairies for Goomba's laking. And Drac probably just going to be heading to GT right now. No, he's heading to Swamp to follow. Okay. Drac feels behind, and he's making...
I mean, aside from that early game, his route was actually super good.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe he still feels behind from that, but I actually feel like his route has been very, very solid. I mean, honestly, I think both hunters have put together a very, very solid route in this seed. And it helps that a couple of the nastier items were just on the way. I think maybe the one thing he does feel bad about is not having that bow before he...
I see the point. He only has one bow, and like I pointed out, that bow technically is hookshot locked. So his path clear is actually not in logic, but he still has 4 crystals. Oh, but because that bow doesn't log Eastern anyways.
Yeah. I think this might just be more along the lines of Drac feels like he's behind and is looking to make a play that will give him the opportunity.
It's just that you were required to go there for the gain anyways. So do you just consider that Goomba also left after the gain?
I mean, I think it's the big key more than anything else that really makes that enticing. Because that big key is just in a miserable spot. And so, I mean, obviously this is not the right play for Drac, but it is.
I mean, it's not in that bad of a spot, because it's all dungeons, so that spot really doesn't matter.
I do wonder how this would have played out if that last Totoroki key was somewhere worse. Like on the GT climb or similar. Actually, even that's not that bad, he just has to climb that again.
I think the worst would be in TR itself. Because they want to
on
go.
like Laser Bridge, yeah. That's a significant injury right there.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a painful compass.
But yeah, we don't need the heroic key because we can perform. Oh, with that spike though, might be a bit annoying. Oh yeah, using the hookshot iframe here
Yeah,
very smartly.
nice and clean. I mean, the other thing you could have done is just pulled out the cape and run by it.
Also that.
It's actually probably what I would have done. But...
So we have here our one-eyed Moldorm. But with butter sword. Easy kill.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing to look for Goomba. He's just climbing the tower right now. Just gonna wait and see what's in the climb waiting for him. I mean, we know that Landmo 2 and Moldom 2 are gonna be there, but the gauntlet might not be as friendly.
Yep. And I'm gonna switch us over to Goomba's audio as he climbs up the gauntlet.
Although having kill rooms in most of GT, just making the gauntlet kinda friendly, unless you have like Hinoxes in every room. But even with Hinoxes you have a battle sword, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, at this point you can just kind of carve through GT.
Those guards got lost in the wrong tower, I think. Definitely got lost in the wrong tower.
They just kind of read tower and thought they were in the right spot.
So Drag's gonna make his way into GT, gonna find all the goods.
Yep,
probably
he's
didn't
gonna end up being behind, but I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with the plays Drac made. He felt like he was in a bad position, I assume, from the start, and doing so, he wanted to make a play that he thought his opponent wouldn't.
Doing the same play as Goomba as well, like you going right side and then you find the tier small and the tier big and you're like, I'm a hookshot for Gomu, there's no need for me to go left side, so you keep going. Still checking the torch though. Maybe he's gonna go all the way to map chest as well? Nah.
Looks like he's going.
Kinda unfortunate.
Yeah. I think like if he finds the hookshot in Compass Room, he wants to just be able to bail, but unfortunately the layout's just not the way he wants it.
I think he wants to lay out when he just finds the hookshot and leaves and the TR stuff is in Swamp. That's what Drac wants right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Goomba gets the invisible torch going there.
What are those mimics doing here?
I think we're seeing the rare reverse mimic clip.
Like, where do they come from even?
I mean, my favorite thing is if you mimic clip the second room here, where the mimic just like goes into the next room and slides up there as well, and you get to watch that. That always gives me a good chuckle.
Like, why are there mimics here in the first place? That's what I'm wondering. It's like, but hey,
I
not
mean, I
that
think
they
Ganon
matter.
just seen how bad his normal guards are and decided to hire some mercenaries for this one.
They were red mimics, even, right?
Yes,
or
they were.
the pellet.
Or they looked red.
Yeah, they look red.
We can see some interesting pellet shenanigans in Randomizer where the guards will be the wrong color, and the mimics as well.
There's also a chance that Drac leaves here, like here. No.
Looks like he will keep going, which is obviously the correct decision. You're so close to these chests behind Ice Armor here, I feel like you basically have to. That anti-fairy still playing some Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon there.
Goomba still only has Swamp left. Already flooded the first room though, so it's not gonna take a lot of time, and he can save and quit after that to get on top of the pyramid so he can fight Ganon right after that.
This is gonna be a pretty quick close. Ultimately didn't actually need to kill Aga before all this, but you never know that with where that swamp key was.
I mean, when you see a big key here and you got both the Castle Tower key, like, there's no way you're not just killing Aga.
I can't imagine making that play to Death Mountain without killing Aga.
The only way you're not killing Aga is that you didn't go to Castle Tower before.
That's true. If you didn't dip Castle Tower, you might be doing a lot of dumb stuff before you find that vanilla Castle Tower key. And there is Drac hitting go mode. Unfortunately, probably about 5 minutes behind Goomba right now. Maybe 6, I would say.
He doesn't have to go for the key.
Yeah, he gets to zoom through Turtle Rock, so that won't be too bad. But does have to do Hera, and does have to do the DT climb. Goomba doesn't even want that compass.
I mean, he has silvers and...
Oh, I know, there's nothing
and butter, so yeah.
He gained, I guess, a blue mail, but I don't think
I don't think you want to mail, no. So yeah,
I
you
mean, if I'm on silvers and tempered or better, I'm not really planning on getting hit in the Ganon fight.
That was pretty neat diver down with the anti-fairy in the way.
That was a super clear. That was a really clean diver down. Managed to time that very, very well.
Yeah, blue mail was in Medicave.
Alright, Toffel, to be fair, Lynn is actually the one who said that none of these races end up close.
And am I wrong?
That's... no, and I mean, I think it speaks very much to kind of the different way these runners tend to play. Whereas Drac will be a little bit more aggressive, chase things a little harder, and he's a very, very good runner, but sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, and it is not going to work in this scene. And it led to him routing some things less efficiently than Goomba did. And honestly, I think a lot of it too was just like the way things broke for him to not have the bow going into pod, so he needed to make the extra trip to Palace of Darkness. And the skips that Goomba made that actually
he didn't make a lot.
He ended up going back for. I mean, the only one is Gravy Legend. It's not like he skipped it. There just wasn't really a good opportunity to route it in. Like, there isn't necessarily a right or wrong way to play this game. It's just differing styles, and sometimes it works well and sometimes it doesn't. And ultimately, like, time-wise, I think this race would have been relatively close if Drac hadn't gone back to chase the Swamp Key. But even so, it probably would have been 5 or 6 minutes.
Goomba.
You sure you didn't want the blue mail?
How's the cape out now?
Drac, meanwhile, is grabbing his 6th crystal and about to head towards Tower of Hera.
Alright, Goomba's good right now. I don't think it's gonna die here or fall, or... I mean, you never know, but...
Your teammate believes in you, Goomba. I believe in you too, I just believe in your ability to fold again in 57 times. Well, apparently my belief was not very strong. As Goomba is going to cross the bridge here and finish in the first place in this race. And we'll see if Drac decides he wants to continue or not. Looks like Drac is done at this point.
Yeah, looking at the race room, he forfeited after Goomba was done. So GG's to both the runners. I think we're gonna have them shortly.
As we now see Goomba popping in the waiting room. And so he will probably be in shortly.
Hello, Goomba. GG's.
Hey. GG.
Nice. Kane.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a very, very valuable placed Kane, as we are also joined by Drac here. GG's.
GG's.
Hey, Drac, GG.
So, I'm gonna talk about that roller room in Escape.
No.
Killed me a few too many times.
So, there was actually a window where it was off the screen and when you could go.
Yeah, that was a room.
I'll say, well, Goomba made it through first try, and Drac did not. And I assume probably felt a little bit behind for the entire rest of the seed.
I mean,
because of
how do you not feel behind with the 8?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like that roller. That's why I wanted to talk about it first, because that's probably what made you route as you did throughout the seed. I mean, definitely that's the only thing I can see that made you route like this. Because the seed wasn't that bad itself, aside from that Kane in Swamp, obviously. Or maybe spending all the keys to pod. I mean, your 4 keys to pod, and then finding the bow shortly afterwards.
I was say Drac had a couple of bad beats in this seed. Spending all of his keys and then finding the bow right afterwards probably is number 2 on the list after that crystal roller. Or not crystal.
I mean, I feel the item placements in this seed were actually mostly pretty nice. The Cane was kind of bad, but it also bottlenecked you into Swamp relatively early.
Yeah.
And nothing else was really that bad. It was just the Randomizer aspect was awful. Like, there were so many terrible enemies everywhere.
Looking at you, Ice Palace.
That ice palace is awful.
I was a big fan of the iced tea room with just the chomp and the roller sitting right there on the chest.
Yeah, I'm very glad I had that cape, I'll say that.
I definitely feel like the cape was pretty high-key the MVP of that seed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cape was by far the MVP in that mess.
Also, nice bomb big key. Thank you, game. Really appreciate. You didn't open the chest. It was the compass, by the way, Goomba.
Nice.
I'll say yeah. So Drag, you got that key and bolted straight back to Swamp Palace. Was that more just kind of a, I think Goomba's going to look at this key and say, I'm going to go to Death Mountain and just try to chase GT?
I mean, I knew I was behind at that point, so I was like, yeah, it's probably in GT, but my only way to win this is if it's not in GT, so let's just go back into Swamp.
Yeah, and I think that's a super reasonable way to play the scene. It just happened to not work in this one. Everything was just kind of on the right side GT path.
Just wanted to note that Goomba tried for the vanilla big key chest in his turn in the dark, but didn't go back for it. But as you can guess, Goomba Drag just skipped it.
Was
Whoa.
the compass anywhere?
Really? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, true.
But I didn't know that until I
boss
came back.
The boss could still have the compass, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just went
I
for
mean,
the
like-
50-50, and just I would have gone back in if the compass was on hard mode.
I sure as heck wouldn't have.
I was like, yeah, there were a couple of spots near the end there that's like, Drac actually feels like he's ahead if one of the items is in these spots.
A
And-
TR small key in her basement was definitely one of them.
Yup.
Yeah,
If that hook shot had been in Lava Chest.
I was trying very, very hard to not do Hera basement until I could do the upstairs checks because I don't want to do Hera basement for a compass.
I don't blame you.
And the first time I was up there, I didn't
Wasn't
even
in
have
logic.
flippers, so it wasn't in logic.
Mhm.
Like
I
I'm
mean, I
not
pointed
about to
that
start sequence breaking in mystery before I even know what the goal is. So
Yeah, I think that was a very, very reasonable skip at the time. And Drac just kind of saved and quit out of Ice Rock Cave, so he didn't even have that option. But yeah, the compass is definitely the almost full key sanity aspect of the scene threw a little bit of a wrench into it because it made the compasses show up in some bad places, such as the Swamp
Yeah.
Big Chest.
like I was initially going to do Hera basement when I went back up with the cane, but then I got Quake, and I was like, okay, well, never mind, let's go full clear Misery Mire. And then I was also going to do it when I came back up for GT, except I hit Go mode in GT.
Like we were talking with Alazan about how you do right to left, even if you don't have the hook shot. Then the TR big key and small key just showed up, and you're like, okay, you keep going.
At that point, the only item of interest is the hook shot, and you're just like, well, okay, guess I'm not going to check left side because that's all locked, other than the map chest, of course.
Yeah.
Which I think, Drac, you Hail Married for the map chest as your first play in GT on your way back, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I would have checked map chest before going over to Turtle Rock if the hookshot wasn't behind Ice Armors.
I was wondering.
And then if the hookshot was not in GT or in Turtle Rock, I probably would have just climbed the tower. So
Yeah, the hook shot on the climb was one of those things I was feeling really, really worried about for Drac, knowing that I know you can bounce fairly reliably, or as reliable as you can make Moldorm bouncing. And so you probably wouldn't have been as afraid of that, but I can imagine that wouldn't have been fun for Drac. And it's not like you're going to skip the hookshot and validation chest, right?
yeah. Yeah. If the only thing I was missing was the hookshot, I would have just gone for the GT climb.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But yeah, this ended up being a 1-to-1 between the two teams. One kind of wild and crazy seed, and this one a little bit more straightforward, or as straightforward as an 80 keys Randomizer seed can actually be.
Yeah.
By the way, you correct me if I was wrong, but that first bow you got in Ice Palace was hookshot locked, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think you're right, Lynn. Because you should be able to lock yourself out of the right side without the hook shot, right? Just by using all the keys, and then the only key that's left is the one under the heavy block. Which should make the bow hook shot locked in key sanity?
Maybe. I don't know.
That was Lynn's other speculation for why Drac
I had all the
for
keys,
swamp pig.
right?
You had both keys and the big key. Yeah.
But you can use all of those.
I'm too tired to think about Ice Palace key logic right now.
There's the correct
fair.
answer.
That's fair. All right, I guess that's it for us. Let me get the schedule because I think we have a few other games still. So what do we have?
We're winding down to the end of Mystery Week, but
We're almost done with Mystery Week. We have 2 more games coming up today on SpeedGaming. Double Dippers versus
the team I would call Acronym if there weren't another team called Acronym.
WGPTDB TB. T2 versus Willard G. Bradley, and later, at the same time on Speed Gaming 2, U-Tank Lane versus Tarumis, Solsky versus Hazukiri. Also, follow our runners, Goomba and Dracarys. Good ALTTPR runners. Especially Goomba. He's my teammate, so I can vouch for him a little bit. A lot.
I can't.
Also, shout outs to my co-com Alazun and our tracker 2D Tones. And don't forget to follow the Speed Gaming channels 1 to 6 and the League channels as well. 1, 2, I don't remember how many we have, but
I think 4.
4. And yep, more Link to the Past coming, but that's it for us. So thanks for watching and see you around.